All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Global Reality. I'm your host, Josh Reeves. This is the Wednesday, July 26th, 2017 edition of the broadcast. Again, thank you very much for joining me, being here with me for another show. It's been a little bit since we've had a show because obviously I've been too crazy busy and slammed and everything else to all kinds of crazy shit going on to be able to do one. So, that's how it happens sometimes. The show has to fall low on the priority list sometimes when I'm busy working with other stuff. But then again, oftentimes, what happened is I already have a huge workload with this film project, and I took on another project for one of our listeners, and because sometimes I'm just, I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm Superman and I can do all this shit all at once, and then I end up getting bogged down and flooded down, and that's the way it goes. Anyway, I am here with you. I've got some various interesting things to talk about and get into with you here on the show. Lots of different topics. I don't really even know where I want to start at, what I want to talk about first here, but I'll do my best to get into as much of the stuff as I can here for you tonight on the broadcast. Let's see. What do we want to start with now? I don't even know what I want to talk about. I was planning on having an earlier show for you earlier in the week, but we had some storms here in Dallas the other night. It was kind of weird, kind of unexpected. I didn't see anything in the forecast or anything for that, but kind of came out of nowhere. And it was strange. I started, I heard all this wind and stuff outside. I know what was going on, and then my internet went out. And it was like the router was getting no power to it. And I was like, wait a minute, this is weird. It was plugged in, everything. Even if the internet goes out, the router will stay powered, Because sometimes that happens. Sometimes it'll go out during storms, The lines get bugged, if you have a cable internet or something. But then I noticed that it started getting hot in my house. I was like, wait a second here. What's going on? So it was so strange. I couldn't figure out what happened. It knocked part of the power out and part of the power not out. I've never seen like that. It was very weird. But anyway, ended up knocking the AC out, and then everything else, all the other rest of the power came back on later, and then the AC would not come on. Anyway, what happened was it's probably going to happen again unless somebody fixes it, but there was some tree limbs or something that are just sitting on the power lines. I mean, I don't know how long it's been like that. It looks like it's been like that for a while, but it basically ripped the main power line completely out of my place. I don't even know how I had any power. I was still getting some power, but the guy that fixed it said that it was barely hanging on there. Anyway, I had to. Luckily, you got it fixed. I mean, if you don't live in Texas, you probably have no appreciation for this. But unless you live somewhere else where it's hot, like fucking, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, any place like that. But if you don't live somewhere like that, it's probably difficult for you to understand what a couple of days in Texas in July without air conditioner is. And I assure you, hell is probably an option. That was terrible. So anyway, so that you can't do anything when it's that hot too. I mean, you can't do anything. And then the internet was knocked out too for a while. That was just insane. So that put me behind. So since and me, I've been feverishly working since the last show, of course, on the Spellcaster and on this other project I'm working on. And it's just frustrating. Some shit like that happens, it's out of your hands, out of your control. And so I've been, ever since then, I've, trying to make up time that I lost dealing with all that shit. So that's why I haven't been able to get up here and have a show for you since that happened. But man, oh man, it's just crazy. But yeah, I've been, look, I'm going to be honest with you too. I'm sick of the goddamn questions. Enough of it. No more. I'm sick of you motherfuckers asking me, taking guesses, trying to figure out who the old Paul was. I'm not going to fucking tell you. Quit fucking guessing. I'm sick of it. It was kind of cute for the first 24 hours. Now it's gotten fucking out of hand. I saw this, I remember a long time ago I saw this episode of Howard Stern, and I think he was interviewing fucking Charlie Sheen's old woman, Denise Richards or something. And she told Howard some story that made his dick get hard about, her having some lesbianic experimentation with some well-known actress. And I mean, it's clear. It was clear that she was talking about Angelina Jolie. You could just tell by the description. But man, he wouldn't let it go. He is so. They ended up fucking. I mean, it was on and on and on. They guessed every fucking person in the world except Angelina Jolie, of course. And of course, it wasn't right. And that's what this reminds me of. Howard's like, was this person? No, you're gonna throw fucking every goddamn person's name out there until you think until you hit it. I'm sick of it. I'm done. Don't fucking ask me again about guesses. You will see it when the movie comes out. And another thing, quit fucking harassing me about when the movie's going to be done and when it's going to be out, okay? I'm sorry, man. This is hard enough. This work is fucking hard enough as one person to do. You have no idea you have no clue, man. And it's not your fault. You can't have any clue without knowing what I know, what I'm doing here, and what I'm putting together with this film. You have no idea what kind of a massive fucking project this is. Like, honestly, I've almost given up about 5 times. I've almost just completely given up because it's just I've been bitten off, as I always do, way more than I could ever possibly chew. There's no way in hell I can ever get all of this information into even fucking 5 movies. And, I'm already planning on making this thing probably fucking 4 hours long. So, but I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna put in there. I've had, just like I did with Volume 1, I've had to go back and rewrite and it's tough. It's fucking tough work, man. I tell you, it is. And, and like I said before, when I don't get up here and have regular shows and tell you to support our work, not very many people do. The ones that have, I thank you for that. But, just, to everybody else, it's, the usual stick. We got to have some financial support and everybody else pitching in. We just need more people pitching in. I'm grateful for the people that do, but we need more people than them to contribute, because then it would just make it, if the more that we have, that's the thing. We shouldn't just be barely scraping by and meeting our goals every month. We should be blowing those goals out the window when you actually look in the grand scope picture of things. What small amount it takes us for our monthly operations. We should be the amount of listeners we have and the amount of people that, we should just be exploding that. So, don't ask me any more fucking questions about who you fucking think it is and your guesses. I'm tired of them. I'm sick of it. Y'all have driven me absolutely fucking nuts with this shit, and I'm done with it. You'll see it when the movie comes out. When's the movie going to be done? It's going to be done when it's going to be done. I'm shooting for the end of August, maybe the first or second week in September. I don't know. Maybe longer than that. I don't know, and I don't care anymore. I'm going to work on this film. It's going to be the best film I could possibly make it to be. You're not going to be disappointed in it, but you got to be patient and you got to continue to support my work. That's the thing. Everybody, the people who are harassing me the most about this stuff are not even contributing anything. You know who you are. Come on. But I'm done trying to give people estimates, because the estimates, there's no way to put a time estimate on this. There's no way I can say that it's going to take this amount of time to do this. You just don't know. You just have to do it until it's done. But like I've said, in the past, I've done that shit because I've allowed people to put pressure on me, and rushed me to get these films done. And that was an absolute mistake. Looking back on that, I wish I would not have done that. And I'll never do it again, and I never have done it again since the Secret Right Volume 2. All the rest of my films, I've taken my time, and that's, there's, again, with so much in this film, it's just new territory. It's new information. That's what's driving people nuts the most. They can't stand for there to be stuff that they don't know about, or, and look, you got to get over that. You just do. Otherwise, you're going to drive yourself crazy. There's always going to be stuff that I'm never going to know. There's going to be stuff you're never going to know. There's always going to be somebody walking around out there somewhere on the planet that knows something you're never going to know. And I know a lot of stuff that I've never talked about, or put into a film yet. Maybe I will sometime, maybe I won't. That drives people fucking nuts every time I say it. But it's just the truth, man. But the same thing is, there's people, there are other people walking around out there that know things you and I will never know. But I assure you, if when you watch my films, that's the one thing that I is my stock and trade with all this, is that I always seem to have the ability to find things nobody else has ever found. And this film is no different. Everybody's been asking me about the death of Chester Bennington, lead singer of Linkin Park. Admittedly, I was never a fan of them, not even remotely. In fact, I fucking hated that band with a fucking passion. Always have. But yet again, I mean, regardless of whether or not you like their music or don't, we do have another suicided musician on our hands here. There's no question about it. Came across a little tidbit the other night, because this, of course, he was best friends. I mean, they were best buds with Chris Cornell from Soundgarden. And, it's interesting. I had lots of people sending me questions, and people still sending me listener stuff about the Cornell thing. And I said from the very beginning, or very shortly after he died, that I wasn't going to take that on as one of my, I will be mentioning it, of course, in my film, but I'm not taking it on as one of my projects. And I'll tell you why that is. And I've been further confirmed in my reasons with the death of Chester Bennington. Because just like I've talked about, with other similar, well, pretty much every issue, really, if you want to get down to it, this has happened to. Anytime you've got a real honest-to-goodness conspiracy and cover-up on your hands, you can bet your bottom dollar you're going to have a bunch of alternative conspiracy theories and whatnot that are discredited and based in nothing. They're going to be there to poison the well for anybody that finds real, legit information. They constantly do this. This is something that's been done, since time immemorial. From JFK to 9/11 to, anything. The fall stuff, especially, there's so much disinformation with the fall stuff. But again, this is to muddy the waters. This is to keep people confused, and also so that when anybody does actually find legitimate information and brings it forward, then it's guilt by association, and then you can be guilted, and people just say, well, you've got a crazy conspiracy theory, just like these other ones that are unfounded. And, I don't know that I ever talked about it here because I never believed it from the very beginning, but when Cornell died, you had all these unsubstantiated rumors about him supposedly exposing some pedophile ring, which really just doesn't even, there's no proof of that. There's no indication, there's no reason to believe that would even be part of the case. And now they're saying it with Chester Bennington, and you can see this is coming from the same exact alt-right conspiracy, CIA-controlled people, I won't name fucking names, you know who they are, that are continuing to try and associate real honest-to-goodness research and real honest-to-goodness people who aren't left-wing or right-wing or associated with any of these phony fucking political parties, and associate the quest for real truth with, the right-wing alt-wingers. This is the same, coming from the same fucking people that did the stupid fucking Pizzagate shit. This is coming from the same people. They're trying to associate this. They put out this false story. They say some fucking cop made a statement he didn't. And then the people who are spinning this yarn then just say, oh, well, the mainstream media are covering this up again. There's absolutely zero evidence of this fucking, now again, does that mean that there aren't pedophile rings that go on that are happening, people that have been in Hollywood and stuff? And of course. But there is absolutely zero proof here. This is designed. This is absolute CIA. This is the same thing the CIA does whenever they're trying to overthrow a particular leader in a country. They spin all this phony stuff that they get people to believe, and then when people come and counter it, they say, well, those people that are countering it, saying it's not true, are the enemy. Just the same thing with Jones, same thing with Jones now, and he's, of course, doing exactly what I told you fucking 10 years ago when I started this broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, what he and others like him are there to do, and that is to fucking open a civil war. That's what all this is about. That's what the association with Russia and all that stuff is about. This is why Russia is behind this. This has been an ongoing destabilization campaign. It started with 9/11. That's why they put Jones up front as the so-called leader of that. This is an attempt to destabilize the American government, to bring in an alternative government that will be worse than what we've already got. But they will sell it to you under the guise of we're freedom fighters and the rest of this. This is what's going on with this. But they are attempting now to come up with these phony alternative fake news conspiracy theories for the death of Bennington and Cornell and whatnot, so that the general public sees that and goes, oh, well, look, this is just fake. They said this cop said something about it was being investigated as a murder, and that's just a fake, So then when anybody actually does find some real truth or does find some real connection to it, then, again, you throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have the guilt by association thing where, oh, well, no, yeah, here we go, another conspiracy theory. Just like they've done, with all of these phony fake deaths. They've done the same. Again, I've found in my research they did the same thing with the whole Paul is dead thing. Original Paul did not die, but that's why they've reinforced it and went out of their way to play into it for many, many years. If there was nothing to it, they wouldn't have continued to do it and extend it for so long. But they've done it and tried to reinforce that, because by reinforcing it, then it takes any sort of attention that somebody might be looking at the other way away from it. It's like sleight of hand. It's like the magician's guy. He gets you looking over here. Look at the monkey. Look at the silly monkey. And then, whoa, there's a silly monkey over there. And then meanwhile, while you're looking at the fucking monkey puppet on their hand, they're getting the job done and nobody's paying attention. That's what this all is. I don't know if this means anything to any of the researchers out there that have been researching some of this stuff with Cordell and others, but working on the film the other night, I came across an interesting comment. And I think this was actually, this was actually way before, I think, yeah. But this is well before the death of Cornell. I was listening to some interviews with Courtney Love because, of course, we've got lots of good stuff on her in Spellcaster too. Don't worry. Well, you think you already knew? You think you already knew everything you needed to know about that fucking gash? Ugh, she's disgusting. My God. Oh, you don't know nothing yet. You wait till you see what I got on her. But you're probably all familiar, if you know the band Nirvana and their music, everybody's probably familiar with the song Heart Shaped Box. Which Courtney says is about her vagina, but I don't really think that's true. But anyway, one interesting thing that she said, though, I heard her say, she said there's that line in the song that says, "Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint, forever in debt to your priceless advice." She said that line, that Kurt wrote that line about Chris Cornell's ex-wife manager. And I just thought that was interesting. I mean, when you break it down, you look at it, hey, wait, I've got a new complaint, forever in debt to your priceless advice. Almost like sarcastic. I don't know. I don't know if it means anything or it doesn't, but I just found that interesting in light of, Kurt being suicided and Cornell, and then, Courtney saying that line from that song was about, his ex-wife that was the manager or whatever. Interesting stuff, but yeah, Courtney, man, she it's just insanity. It's just pure insanity. She was pretty much from birth. She was MK Ultra'd up from birth, man. I mean, she is a fucking god awful. I don't even know what the word is. Fucking succubus, fucking, hose hound from hell, whatever. But, and I would never say anything complimentary or defensive towards her, but I have to say, in her defense, dude, she never had a chance. Honestly, I mean, she was MK Ultra'd up from age 4, dude. No kidding. No, I'll be detailing all this stuff in the film. And I don't just mean, this is not just something like, a lot of people make claims on YouTube videos and, this person's Illuminati or this person's MK Ultra, mind slave or whatever. Literally, no, it's her dad, full blown CIA. I mean, he's openly admitted to this. I mean, he was the guy that was providing the government created LSD directly to the Grateful Dead and other musicians in the late 60s. And he started dosing Courtney with LSD, which was coming straight out of MK Ultra at that time in the late 60s. He started dosing Courtney with acid when she was 4 years old. I mean, they were MK. It sounds insane to think that they would be training her for something, that many years in advance, but they absolutely were. She actually appears as a small child on one of the Grateful Dead's album covers. Of course, the Grateful Dead guys all in the beginning were associated with Scientology. Courtney herself is supposedly a free zone Scientologist. She thanks Narconon, the Scientology narcotics rehab thing in her album Celebrity Skin, specifically thanks them in there. And there's just tons more connections, but showing how all this connects and showing how it connects with the death of Kurt Cobain and connecting it even to Fall. I mean, they've even connected it with her and Fall and see. I mean, it's just almost every one of these topics, they all connect in this movie. It's just absolutely insane. It really is. I mean, I really got a very unique and one of a kind movie on my hands. It's really turned into, I know it's going to really be beyond what I hoped it would be, but it's just a lot of work, man. And I've got at least another month of work. I mean, it's solid, but I need complete focus and concentration. And like I said, we have got some support and donations to help out there, but not a lot. But we just need a lot more. We need a lot more people pushing and helping out the people that are contributing. We've got operating costs coming up due in a week again, and we haven't got a lot towards that so far. But so long as we reach 100% of our goal, we'll be okay. But I just don't have time to be worrying about that right now. That's the thing, Kind of setbacks we've had here earlier in the week have kind of put me behind and stuff too. So I'm trying to play catch up, but yeah, I've just got to really stay focused on this movie. What else do I want to talk about? Got a lot. Let's see here. Anonymous donating people. Yeah, I've had a lot of people ask about that, ways that you can anonymously donate. There's a lot of ways you can do it. It's very easy. It just depends on what level of anonymous you want. You want full anonymous or not? You know, I mean, it's just whatever. People ask about P.O. Box and stuff. We don't have a P.O. Box, and I'm not ever going to do the P.O. Box thing again because we did it twice, and we never got enough people. I remember for years, man, get a P.O. Box. Oh, you'll get swamped in money. You'll be flooded with cash. See, we had one twice, and we never even got enough money in it to even pay for what it cost to get the P.O. Box. So, no, I don't do that anymore. But, again, there's tons of ways you can do that. You know, if you want to pay cash, you want to make a cash donation, you want to donate in a way and you want it to be anonymous, there's different levels of anonymous. But, I mean, you can go all the way anonymous you can get a anonymous email address, and then you can go to a store and get a Visa gift card and put, any amount you want on it, or get multiple ones if you want to go past whatever the limit is, and then you just anonymously email me the card information, 3-digit code, and on the front and all that stuff. And then, I won't even know who sent it. And the only thing I can just process it like a credit card on my end, and then it's done. That's it. So, had a lot of people ask about that. I got more people asking about it recently, but every time I explain it, we never have anybody that does it. So I don't get it. I don't understand that. I don't understand why people ask about anonymous donating and then they don't do it when I give them the options. It's just, I don't know. I've given up trying to guess people's behavior anymore, really, to be honest with you. So, yeah, that's the way you can do it. And, of course, with our 10-year anniversary fundraiser, it's going on until the end of September, sometimes towards the end, right around their 10-year anniversary, because this is our 10 years. It's been 10 years since I started the show, September, and 10 years since I've been making films. So we're trying to get a lot of new equipment so we can not only just continue this work into the next 10 years, but take it to a whole new level. And you can find the 10-year anniversary funders. I had people saying, and I'm not criticizing people, but I've got 2 emails from people. And I figured out why this is, I think. I think it's because people are listening to the shows on YouTube on mobile or something and are just not seeing. Because I looked and it doesn't really make it apparent. Okay, here's the thing. Let me pull this up so I can explain this to you. If you're listening to this show, just for maybe in case there's other people out there like these other 2 people that emailed me, if you're in any way that you listen to this show, no matter how you listen to it, there in every single episode there are links to our fundraisers in every single episode. The only way you're going to be able to listen to it is either from the YouTube videos or in the archives. That's it, right? It's the only way. But yet I'm still getting people saying, well, I can't find where you donate at. It's on your website. Well, I've told you a long time ago, I don't really have a webmaster anymore. The one I had was asleep at the wheel and really doesn't do anything for me anymore. So the website's kind of fucking just, other than what's just there already, it's really not good for much else other than what is on the website now. Don't really expect there to be anything updated on that thing anytime soon. I'm just putting it out there because I don't have a way to do it. And I don't have time to do it. The guy that was doing it for me doesn't seem to want to do it anymore. I don't know. But regardless of that, I've said and announced here on the show, almost every single show, that I put the links up on Facebook, on both of our Facebook pages. We have 2 for the show, the Global Reality Facebook page and the Josh Reeves Filmmaker Talk Show Host Explorer page. All the links are always up there. And in every single show, either on YouTube or in the archives, I put the links to the fundraisers. But I still, just like I get people who I don't know where your download shop is. I went to your website and I can't find the download shop. Right there in the middle of the goddamn motherfucking page, it says download Josh's films right here. Boom. One click and you're in there. And yet I still get 10 emails a week of people saying, I can't find your download shop on your website. Literally right there, big bold letters in the middle of the fucking page. So I'm not mad at you. I'm just letting you know that there's no excuse. But here's the thing. I think I found the reason why some people are seeing it, some people aren't. Because there's a lot of people that are seeing it. The people that haven't been able to find the donation links are in the minority. There's only 2 people I've heard from. But their theory is, oh, well, maybe that's why you're not getting donations. No, that's not it. Some people just don't do anything on mobile phones, except for on mobile phones anymore. And I'm sorry to have to tell you that my work, the stuff that I do, especially, it's never going to be 100% mobile friendly. It's just never going to happen. It's some of my stuff does require you to have to download stuff and unzip it first and whatnot on a PC. But I'm looking right here at one of my videos, and I'm looking at it on a mobile. And I'm also looking at it on a computer. And the obvious difference that I see here between the mobile version and the computer version is that when you go to one of my videos on the computer version, there is right underneath the date where it's posted, there's a button that says show more. When you click show more, that's where the links show up. That's where the links are for the either for our monthly contribution or the 10-year anniversary fundraiser. That's where I put them at. But as I look at this same video on my phone here, you don't see that. There's a little triangle that points down on the right-hand side of wherever the title is, okay? If you're on a mobile. Here's just one of my videos, for example. Josh Reeves exposes film manipulation of false evidence. The triangle is pointed down. On the mobile version, there is no designation that says show more. On the PC, there is. So if you hit show more on the PC, you'll get the links, and there's the links to donate. Now, I'm looking at this on the phone. Now, there is no show more button. So what do you do? On the right-hand side, next to where the title is, there's a triangle pointing down. If you click that triangle once, it'll point upwards, and then it'll say, published on July 14th, 2017. Bombshell proof that. Then, boom, there it is. There's all the info, and there's where the links will be. So for future reference, when you're listening to my shows on YouTube and you're listening to them on a mobile device, that's how you find the links. Also, I put them in the comments. Now, you may not see the comments either if you're on a mobile device. But if you can see the title, you scroll, and it'll have a bunch of other videos. I don't know why they do it this way. Then you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And then you go to the comments, and then you click the comments, and then you'll see the links in the comments as well. I'm sorry that YouTube on mobile sucks. That's not my fault. But that's the problem that's going on here. That's why some of you are accusing me of not putting the links where you can see it and stuff. No, I put the links on every single video I put on YouTube of the show. Maybe I don't put them on some of the, just like the fall videos and stuff, but I put them on all the videos of the show. So again, I have to address that because I had 2 people that brought it up. I meant to mention this on some of the last few broadcasts. I forgot to mention when I was talking about all that fall stuff. I mentioned when I was talking about the prosthetics, I mentioned Breaking Bad in there and how, with prosthetics and stuff, you could just totally make somebody look like a completely different person. People think that, Walter White or whatever, they just shaved Bryan Cranston's head. No. He had prosthetic skin on his hands, everything, just to make him look like a completely different person. What I didn't mention, I talked about that, but what I didn't mention, that I wanted to mention now, is that it's insane. There's been so many, Well, I talked about, earlier, how long they've been referencing all this Paul is dead stuff. It's amazing. It's insane. I mean, you could just make one movie on how many times it's been referenced in pop culture and in movies, and how long they've been throwing it in our face and trying to reinforce that. And strangely enough, it was just strange that I brought up Breaking Bad as that example, because on further review, that whole thing with him making Bryan Cranston and making Walter White look at this totally different person, they actually confirm for you several times through the series of Breaking Bad that they are referencing and tributing to the whole prosthetics and the fake Paul and the old Paul thing. There are references to it throughout the show. If you've watched the show, you may have picked up on it, you may not have. It's pretty fucking fascinating, man. It's pretty interesting to see how many times this has been done. But in Breaking Bad, there are multiples. So it was kind of ironic that, and synchronistic at the same time, that I had talked about that, given Bryan Cranston as an example, of how, because people can't wrap their minds around how they could take somebody and use prosthetics and plastic surgery and make them look and sound and talk and sing like a completely different person. And it's possible. And there are coded little references to this in Breaking Bad to let you know that's indeed the case. It is fascinating. There's one part where, one episode where Jesse Pinkman and Walter White are like, Hank, his father-in-law, the DEA agent, or his brother-in-law, the DEA agent is, he's been onto him, and he's just about onto him, and he's either in the RV or whatever. The Crystal Ship is fucking hilarious. It's the greatest name for an RV ever. Anyway, they end up getting away from him, but he, finds out, blah, blah, because he makes a call and tricks him into thinking his wife's been in a car accident and he hasn't, and then they're able to get away. And then Hank goes to Jesse Pinkman's house and beats the ever-living fucking dog mess out of him, like puts him in a coma and shit, which was great for them, Then they've got a way out. He wouldn't be able to fuck with him anymore. But, so after he's in the hospital, Saul Goodman, who's just fucking great, comes in, and him and Walter White are going into the hospital to see Jesse after he's gotten Jesse the motherfucker just beat up fucking constantly throughout the fucking whole thing. But I had talked about, with Paul and the original Paul and the motorcycle accident, and how, they were already planning on doing this stuff and working it. They were trying to figure out some way to work in this other guy and replace Paul anyway. So that's how they came up with the whole fake death thing. Because he had been in a moped accident and fucked his face up, and he wasn't the cute one anymore, right? That was the whole thing. That's what they were worried about. And plus this litigation and stuff that he had going on, his whole reputation was going to be ruined by some of these revelations that were going to be coming out, and he wasn't going to be the cute one anymore. So, but yeah, Saul Goodman says that. It blew my mind. He says it to. They walk in Jesse Pinkman's hospital room with Walter White, and he's like, it's just crazy that he would. Well, again, it's not crazy if you know what's going on here. It seems crazy, but this is a direct reference. This is another example of it. Saul Goodman says, Ringo, Paul, Ringo. Guess what, bud? You're not the cute one anymore. He calls Jesse Pinkman Paul and calls Walter White Ringo. Says Paul, Ringo, Paul. Guess what, buddy? You're not the cute one anymore. Because Jesse Pinkman's face was all fucked up and he got beat up, so he wasn't the cute one anymore. There's another reference. He makes another reference at some point to getting the band back together or something, and then there's another scene where Walter White's talking to... it's reference all through this. And then Walter White's like talking to his wife on the phone. He like hangs up. He's like, you on the phone with Yoko again or something like that? But I mean, it just blew me away that, they're directly referencing their, guess what, you're not the cute one anymore, calling Pinkman Paul, and his face is all messed up. And then one of the biggest clues to me, and this will make more sense to you when you hear, and I'll show you how the Badfinger stuff plays into this. The very last scene at the very last episode of Breaking Bad, they'd scattered these other little references through there. But in the very final scene of that series, they dropped the big final clue in there. Because the final song you hear, this will also tie in with a lot more information. I'll tie it in also with the guy who the old Paul became. You'll see that in the film. It'll blow your mind even more. But right at the end of the last episode, the song that plays is Baby Blue by Badfinger. You should read the lyrics of that song. And also, kind of a reference to the blue meth that Walter had cooked and whatever. But if you listen to that song, Baby Blue, the end of that song, it's, again, another reference. This was totally intentional by the people that made the show. The end of that song, Baby Blue, has an identical ending to the song The End by the Beatles on Abbey Road. It goes down 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 down. It's the exact ending as the song The End, and that's the end of that of that series. And of course, Badfinger were signed to Apple, and 3 of the 4 guys supposedly committed suicide. They got totally ripped off. They had the song, If You Want It, Here I Am, Come and Get It, but you better hurry because it's going fast, that Fall wrote. And of course, as I told you, I'll have footage in the film of the Manson girls at Spawn Ranch singing that song, written by Fall, singing it on camera before the murders took place. A good 3, 4, 5 years before that song ever came out and was supposedly ever written by Paul McCartney and then sang by Badfinger. I mean, it's just fucking mind-blowing, man. You wouldn't believe how much shit there is. There's a fucking episode, not an episode, but a edition, or what do you call it? Not edition, why am I drawing a blank on one of the easiest fucking words? An issue, I guess, is what you would call it. There's an issue of Batman comics, I believe, from the early 70s. You can look this up. I'm totally not fucking kidding you. There's a Batman comic from the 1970s with the Fall, Paul is dead storyline. I about shit first time I saw it. But again, it shows you how long they've been trying to push this into the popular culture and get people to believe this. It really is. It's an unbelievable cover. It's Batman number 222. How's that for some numbers for you? Batman 222. It's got Batman on the front. It says, here they come. One of them is dead, but which one is it? And then Robin says, the clue is on their album cover. And the name of the album cover is the name of the album. It's got the one guy with his back towards Paul. The name of the album is called Dead Till Proven Alive. Chumley, his real name, just like this, is really Pritchard and Gilby. What? I'm not the phony. They are. So that's the whole thing. And then there's another thing. I guess the guy's name's Saul. So instead of Paul, it's Saul is dead. Here's another line from the comic. They're dead, killed last year in a crash of a private jet that was taking them to groove with the mysteries of the East. So in this, they're saying that all of them are dead, not just one, and they were all replaced. But this comic specifically, this Batman comic specifically gets into replacements. It gets into imposters. I think it's been largely overlooked in the scope of all this Paul is dead stuff. But anyway, they've been peppering it and putting it in there forever. And when you find out who the old Paul became, and you see my evidence when I show you how that person also encoded clues and references to it in all of their albums, I mean, it's just unfucking deniable. It really is. But anyway, once this is out and you guys see this, I think this is going to, I hope it is. I hope this thing, I mean, honestly, if this film doesn't go fucking crack crazy and a bunch of people don't watch it, that's everybody else's loss and not mine. Because honestly, at the end of the day, when this film's done and it's ready and I put it out, you know, I'm going to have done my part. What happens to it and how many people it reach and how stuff, you know, that's out of my hands. But, you know, I just feel like for the first time I've got something, out of all the films I've made, I feel like I've got a piece of work here that really is significant and really is unique and just unlike anything else anybody's ever put out or seen. And I'm just excited, but I've just got to continue to stay focused on this and not have distractions and be distracted by other stuff. Oh, I know what else I want to tell you. We also, I talked about in the last show, some new stuff, some big sale stuff going on with Let There Be Rocks. Go and check that out on Facebook. We put up a bunch of new stuff up there. Lots of good items and stuff, really cheap. Lots of stuff on sale. If you're interested in getting some crystals and stuff for investments, whatever else, we've got some other stuff as well. But definitely go and check that out. There's some stuff there right now that is you just won't get cheaper anywhere else. And that helps us out and supports our work as well, too. Oh, man. Trying to think what else I wanted to mention here. I don't know. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing good out there. Hope you all are well. I just wanted to get up here and check in. I'm not going to be doing a bunch of news and going all that stuff right now. My mind and my heart and stuff is not in it. I've got to stay focused and keep my energy. I apologize that there's not more shows and I haven't had more shows, but I'm stretched as thin as I can be right now. Honestly, working on this because this is it. I'm telling you, this is a monumental project. I'm not joking when I say I've been close to thinking about fucking giving up a few times. Especially when I look at, you know, how much work I put into Volume 1 and still how few people have even watched Volume 1. I mean, go get a download and watch Volume 1 and 1.5 right now if you hadn't seen them, man. I mean, do yourself a favor, please. But I just, I'm not going to continue to do, you know, people talk about the definition of insanity, repeating the same behavior over and over again and expecting different results. That's really what filmmaking's become for me. It's become the definition of insanity. I don't know how much longer I don't feel like much longer I can continue to try and make these films like this and put as much hours and blood, sweat, and tears and really, honestly, my whole soul into it. I mean, my soul goes into these things. That's how much work and effort goes into this. I don't know how longer I can keep doing that for just a few hundred people to see my movies. That's just, it's just not right. I mean, you see all these people can put these, and I'm telling you, I'm not somebody to cry conspiracy about everything. But I see some of these YouTube channels, man, that have only been around for a year or two. These people put videos up and get millions of hits. I've had mine. I've had a director's account. I got a YouTube account even before many people even knew what fucking YouTube was, back in like 2006. And I swear, man, they restrict my views. They hold back my views. I mean, I had so many videos that should have gone completely viral. It doesn't matter what tags you put in them or anything else. They are constantly restricting my films. I mean, the amount of work and the amount of research and effort that goes into these movies, and then how many listeners we have, it's like, I wish we could sell as many copies, I mean, as one of our YouTube videos gets in a day. I mean, I put up a YouTube video in a day or two, it'll have 1,200 hits. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, how come 1,200 fucking people haven't bought my goddamn movie? That doesn't make any sense. I understand how I can have shows for years on end that have 2,000-3,000 listeners apiece, and yet we can have a movie that's been out for a year, almost a year now, and not even have reach 500, not even have 500 people watch it. Just to make sense. Does not make sense. But I'm not going to continue to do this. It's become the definition of insanity. I mean, I'm telling you, the Spellcasters Volume 1 and Volume 2, really Volume 2 also, but I mean, these films should be seen by thousands and thousands of people. They should be generating enough from the sales of downloads and discs and whatnot for us to be able to make 10 more films just based on the quality and the information in this film. And I just can't keep doing it, man. I mean, I love making the films and I love doing it. I love how it progresses it, but, you know, I really am banking on a big success with this Volume 2 because it deserves to be a big success. And that's not just me saying it because it's mine. Really, really, once you see it, you're gonna know that it is that. And if I don't get it with this film, you know, it's going to be debatable on whether or not I do any films anymore. We'll see. We'll see. But I mean, it's tough, man. You know, it really is. And everybody just has. One thing I've learned in my 10 years of doing this is to have realistic expectations. If you have any expectations at all, I always keep my expectations realistic. You know, as far as like how many movies will sell, how many listeners will have, how many people donate. My expectations are always realistic, and they're still always overshooting. But I got to tell you, no offense, but a lot of you got listeners out there have unfucking realistic expectations on me and my work. You really do. I mean, you expect fucking 5-6 shows a week and films to be made in a month or two. You know, just unrealistic expectations. Let me break it down for you. You know, look, never mind. Whatever. It just falls on deaf ears anyway. I'm not going to fucking waste my breath anymore. Look, the ones that do support my work and the ones that are on my team and on my side, you know who you are. I fucking love you with all the fiber in my heart. I really do. I appreciate every single one of you who makes sacrifices to help me continue this work. And I just ask that you continue to help it because it's just not possible without you. And those of you who have donated and contributed, when you see what I've done here with this work, you're going to know where your money went. You're going to be proud of where it went. And, you know, we really could use other people to have that feeling too. So, again, you want to contribute, you can find our Facebook pages. I put the links in the comments and in the information section of the video here. If you, at some point, want to contribute or donate, and you can't find the links on how to do it, hey, all you have to do is email me, globalrealityshow@gmail.com. That's all you got to do. All right, guys, I got to get back to it. I mean, I'm sorry. I know you probably were expecting this to be information-packed show or something. I can't deliver you an information-packed show fucking every time, especially not when I'm balls deep in a film like I am now. Just continue to have your discernment up, your radars up. Don't let these fucking clowns and the alternative media that are trying to muddy the waters for everybody else, don't let them get to you. Okay? They're all going to be exposed. They're all going down. Their fucking days are numbered. This is why they've continued to try to suppress me and my work, because I'm the only motherfucker out here who's got the goods on these bastards, and I'm here to tell you they're going fucking down. I love you guys. I love you more than you know. We'll see you next time. Take care.